So it's been a little bit over a week, and I want to share what I learned, the 5 ultimate things that I learned from Funnel Hacking Live 2021. So if you missed it, I would tell you need to be there because these 5 things are crucial to help me through my success. So the first thing is networking. And when I first went to Funnel Hacking Live, the first 2 years, I was like shy, I was scared. There was so much activity and things going on. I actually stayed in the back, kind of hiding, like afraid to speak to anybody. And I didn't really get the whole experience when it came to that. But this year was so different. This year I had my son with me, and he's a 13-year-old inspiring entrepreneur. And I said to myself, all right, I am gonna go out here and I'm going to talk to everybody I can. So he was by my side, and we would just walk and we would talk with everybody, just ask them what they did. And we met so many amazing people. One of the people we met, her name is Cheryl. And actually that's why I'm doing this stuff now, is because she inspired me to create content and to publish. And I thought, as I looked at her things, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. So now I want to do it. And part of the networking piece of it was that, being a part of the 2 Comma Club coaching program, there was an opportunity for us to have a VIP section. So there was a bunch of 2 Comma Club winners inside of there, all the millions are there, all that fun stuff. But I saw this, the general admission people, and it was like the bullpen. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to there. And we bounced around, and again, we met so many great people. So the first thing I learned from there is network like crazy. The second thing was lean into your superpower. As I was talking as I was networking and meeting people, what I found was the most passionate piece of it was me talking about traffic, me talking about custom audiences, me talking about the pixels, me talking about Google Tag Manager. And really everybody was there for traffic. Marketing is all about bringing people, getting noticed and bringing people to you. And it's all about driving traffic. And I felt like that was the most passionate conversations I was having. So me leaning into my superpower. The third thing I learned was frameworks. So each speaker came up and they talked about their framework. And as I heard their frameworks, I started seeing how do you enhance it? They solve the problem. They had a solution, but oftentimes bringing a solution often causes a new problem. So as I look back at that, I saw like the life cycle evolution of ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels, when it first started out basically as a software web-based platform to make websites from a high level. But then, Russell Brunson said, all right, well, now I have to teach people how to market so it drives traffic into this, into their website. So what happens is he teaches .com secrets, right? Now he solved one problem, but now he created a new problem. It's like, okay, now these people have to learn how they need a voice, right? They need to be the expert. So then comes Expert Secrets. Now you have the platform, you have the marketing, the experts, and now it's like, oh, people need traffic. So he creates Traffic Secrets. As they move into this next level, it's like, okay, they have all the pieces to the puzzle, but now the new problem is people have to overcome their mindset. So now as you see ClickFunnels and some of the training that's provided, it's going to be heavy on mindset. So that is the framework that's working within. So as I looked at people's framework, I saw holes in some of their frameworks. Like, okay, what problem happens after they create their framework? And what that allows me to do is enhance it. How do I take what they're doing, make it better, make it my own, and enhance what they're doing? And what it felt like that movie, The Matrix, where Neo is sitting there and he's like, do you take the red pill or the blue pill? And I don't remember which one he took, but whatever it took opened his eyes. And it was like this whole new world. And that's what I saw as I started hearing everybody's stories and how they were pitching and using the perfect webinar. I started to it was almost like everything started opening up, and I started like almost into this whole new world where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm diving deep into their world and understanding their frameworks. So that was a piece of it. The next piece was being yourself. For years, I've always wanted people to like me. So I acted a certain way, or maybe I wasn't myself in certain scenarios. And it was almost like I felt like a fraud. Now there is something out there called this imposter syndrome, which is something I got some more insight over Funnel Hacking Live. But one of the big takeaways is just be yourself. And my coach Steve once said to me, because I told him, I was like, man, I'm a marketer, I'm a traffic guy, but I feel like I'm up against all these people like Russell Brunson, the person I'm learning from. And he said, Michael, you have to think about it like this. Have you ever been to Disney? And at Disney, they have all these foods, right? And sometimes the food, even though it's decent, it doesn't have the special flavor it has, right? So it's kind of made for the world. All these people from around the world are coming to Disney to eat food, and they kind of have to appease to everybody. And he goes, but I can guarantee you the mom and pop, if you say it's Italian food, right? So say you had Italian food at Disney, but then you have Italian food down the street at a local family restaurant, and they put just a little bit more spice in it, a little bit more garlic, a little bit more butter, just to give it that more flavor. He said, that's what you can be. You don't have to appease to everybody. You can appease just to one person. And that kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things as far as being myself. That's great. So the last thing was this 6 human needs, and I wrote it down, and it has to do with mindset. So I've made some crazy decisions in my life, and some I'm not very proud of. But I never understood why I act the way I do, right? And, there was a few psychologists that I spoke with this past week, and I told them, I had this epiphany, this 6 human needs, and this, and that. And they were like, oh my gosh. So it was driving them crazy because they are way deeper in the topic. But it came down to the top 4, right? So the top 4 was certainty, variety, significant, and love and connection. And the biggest thing that Russell said, I think it came from Tony Robbins, was when 3 of these 4 needs are met, there will never be a divorce. So as I looked at that, I looked at my personal relationships, I looked at some of the business relationships I have, or even attaching it to my business, and it just all made sense to me. So now that I kind of have an understanding of that, sometimes when I make the decisions I make, I will look at that and be like, all right, is one of these things not being fulfilled in this piece of it? And is this the right decision? So it just gave me some enlightenment about that stuff. So those are my 5 biggest takeaways. There was so much information there. I have pages and pages and pages of notes. Everything was great. I would say next year you should go. You have to go, just for the people alone. Sometimes in this marketing world, it feels a little bit lonely out here. And just being with those environments, being with like-minded people, it was a total game changer. So thank you again, and I will see you next year.